That was the first rock I ever balanced. No. Good night. Something I need to do, and I'm going to ask you all to do it with me, if you will indulge me. Everybody who is here, please raise your hand. It's most of you. Good. And then if you could please all put your hand on your stomach. And then you're going to take 3 deep breaths through our nose, and it's going to go right into our stomach, not up here, but down here. Okay? This is totally selfish. I just need an excuse to do this. Okay, ready? Okay, first breath. Out the mouth. Another one. And one more. We're going to hold it in. Okay. I feel better. Do you? Are you? Now who's here? Almost everybody. Great. At Ballet de Tokyo, I spent 1 hour doing this one day. Just one stone. So we'll see how long this takes. Is everybody still breathing? Because that helps me. Okay. So the theme has been transformation, and I've been thinking, well, how am I going to transformation? But I have observed people looking at my, what do we call them? Structures. Some people call them sculptures. Sculptures to me means it's an art, a piece of art, and I don't know what the definition of art is, so I don't know if it's art. I leave that decision up to people who see it. People see what I do, and they have had, well, I'll just, maybe it'd be easier to show you some of the reactions that I get a lot of the time. Oh, I forgot to turn on my stopwatch, so you're gonna have to go, okay, so one of my, even more here for some reason, here's one of the profound reactions that I have seen to my work through the week. So that's one. And then we have another one. be something. There has to be glue. Okay, that's the first question that everybody asks is, are you using glue? I got that all day long at the museum. I got that. I always get that. So I just want to say that I wish that I could invent a glue that would affix immediately a cinder block to a rock and keep it there for a week, because then I would be very, very wealthy. Yeah, they're not glued. They're sitting there still the same way you are. It's gravity. It's really, really simple. Another response I get is, I don't know why, but it's usually men. It's usually men my age-ish, so I'm 40-15. So that's 55, if you want to do the math. But I haven't done all the things I wanted to do by the time I was 50, so I'm 40-15. This is what I get from it's impossible. It's impossible. Is it glue? No, I don't use any glue. It's just, there must be something. There's a rod inside. There's magnets. No, it's just gravity. It's really just, they probably wouldn't have brought me here from the US to glue rocks together. It's just really just sitting there. It's impossible. So at that point, I'm forced to say, and then they say, impressionant. So, the other question is, how do you do it? And I answer that question a lot of the time. I'm happy to. It's not, well, it's not magic. It's not some special power that I have that I can bestow upon you. I needed a little bit of information, and I saw some photographs. I saw some photographs of balanced rocks. And I became very curious about how that could be done. I've always liked to figure out how to do little tricky things. I like to do, that thing where you put the quarters on your arm and you go and you catch them all. So I was like, look what I can do, look what I can do. So I needed to learn how to do this. So I went to the Sage Google. And there, lo and behold, were many hits on how to balance rocks. There was a video. I watched the video probably 3 or 4 times. And then I went outside and I balanced that rock. And it's really, really simple. You need 3 points to touch. You need a tripod. So you have a camera tripod. So there's a point and a point and a point camera. So my 3 points are really, really, really close together. But it's still 3 points. And while I'm finding those 3 points, I have in mind, I have in my feeling where the center of gravity is of the piece that I'm trying to balance. So I put the piece down, and I have, let's see, what shall I use? I'll use the brick again. I like doing bricks because they're really impressive. So if I put a brick here, I've already got one. I got one. It's touching, so I know I have 1 point. Then I turn it, and when I have two, it'll just rock. I can feel that I have 2 points. So now I need the third point, and since the third point can be like a tiny grain of sand or brick, which is a tiny grain of sand too. Sometimes it takes a while to, if that's for me, I'm not here. Sometimes it takes a while to find that third one. But once you do, it stops moving, and you take your hands away. And then it keeps moving. Anyway, it's that simple. It's physically the same thing as you standing on 2 feet. So for me, I started meditating about 30 years ago when I was just a tiny child. No, not really. When I was 25-ish. How long is 30? What's 55 minus? Okay. I'm not in business school, thank God. Anyway, I've been meditating for about 30 years. And meditation is sitting quietly, paying attention to your breath, and letting thoughts just go through your head. You can't, well, I can't yet make no thoughts come into my head. So it's like, don't think of a blue horse. Don't think of a blue horse. You did. But you say, hi, blue horse thought, and it goes back out again. And when I start thinking about what am I going to make for dinner, oh, how am I going to, I have to talk to these kids, I don't know what am I going to say? Then if I'm doing that, I go back to my breath and just watch it go in and out. Some people have a mantra. I have a mantra. It's Om Namah Shivaya. It can be, oh my gosh, I'm hungry. But it just, one thing repeated, go back to the breath. So that's your lesson in meditation. And since I've been doing that for a long time, when I'm balancing rocks, and I am hopefully breathing, it's so helpful. I'm breathing, I'm focused on 3 points. Actually, I'm focused on 1 point because I want to find that third point. Are you here over here? Oh, he's here. Okay, good. So I want to find that 1 point. So for me, and I'm not saying I go into a trance, I'm not saying I go into meditation and I can only do this if I'm in meditation. I am in meditation because I'm focused on one thing. There's a huge thing here, but I'm focused just on that point, making sure I breathe, and whatever else is going on, I am very aware of, but it doesn't affect what I'm doing. And it may look like I'm doing nothing, but I'm moving it a tiny, 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 tiny bit at a time to find that third point. And as I've been doing the balancing, I've realized that balancing is a way for me to have something to do while I meditate so I don't get bored. I've had people come to me after watching me do this, sometimes in tears, saying that it was the first time that they really just watched something, became still, stopped thinking about what they needed to do, where they were going, where they have been, and just be observing something. And there's always a great sigh of relief when I finally balance the stone, especially the ones that took an hour. And I've been thinking about how I've been on my phone a lot since they invented these magical things that you can just and get any bit of information that you could imagine needing. They didn't have those when I was a little child. I had to still get up off the couch to change the channel on the TV. So I just watched whatever was on. And I've been trying to not be on my phone because I realize that when I'm on my phone, I mean, of course I'm on my phone a lot, but when I'm doing this, I'm looking to see, okay, so I only got 5 likes? Geez, that's a great picture. Okay, well, and I go and I was like, hey, how you doing? And, okay, well, I'm going, what time do you want me to be there? Okay, well, all right. Oh, that guy was there? Oh, great. I'm looking at where I was. I'm looking at where I'm going. I'm talking to people I was with. I'm talking to people I wish I was with. And I'm not where I am. So I'm never anywhere. Because the future, I'm sorry, it doesn't exist right now. Oh, wait, now it does. Now it does. Wait, now it does. And the past doesn't exist. And this is a little bit raw, but they say that if you have 1 foot in the past and 1 foot in the future, you're pissing on today. So, people have been asking me what I want to share with you and what I want to, teach you. And that is that if you're present in each moment, even if you're multitasking, even if you're doing 50 things, you can only do 1 thing at a time. Are you sharing that on Twitter, what I just said? You may quote me. Thank you, okay. But give me credit. Thank you. If you focus on what you're doing now, right this second, you'll experience that thing instead of thinking about what's ahead. Let's see, that might be the end of my lecture. Sorry, it came up. People approach the work that I do, and I kind of chuckle when they say work because it's not really hard. It's not really, I love doing it. So if you can find something that you love to do and get paid for it, you're really in good shape. And I'm very grateful. I'm grateful to, where is he? Xavier? He's gone. Oh no. Anyway, busted. He's so busted. Oh, there he is. No, it's okay. You don't have to run. It's all right. It's okay. It's all right. Calmez-vous. It's all right. Anyway, I was thanking you. He came to Le Palais and saw me doing what I'm doing and thought, oh, well, I'll see if I can get her to come back. And I was like, okay. Oh, good. Luce Abrat, who, did not harass me. I was going to use it. She works her butt off to make this happen. And Xavier did not think of this week to torture you. He thought of this week because he thought it would be good for you to be able to learn about some things that are outside of what you've been studying. And unless there are other people how many here who have seen rock balancing before, except for this week? Cool. All right. Anyway, it's a little bit outside the box, but it's exactly in the box. Wow, have I really just used like 10 minutes or something? 15? You busted again. I have 5 more minutes? You tweeting me? Oh, okay, good. I couldn't feel it. Sorry. Thank you. The English speakers are getting my little jokes. Where shall I go from here? How many of you have done this, have balanced a stone before, have balanced rocks before? Okay. How many of you are pretty sure you could do it with some instruction? Okay. How many of you aren't sure but would like to try? How? Share it with me. Share it with the class. If it's funny enough for you, it's funny enough for the whole class. Come on. Spit out your gum. How many of you are certain that under no circumstances could you ever possibly do this? Could you come up here, please? You can keep your gum. You're very brave. Thank you. What's your name?
Carolina.
Carolina. Okay. So, do you want to try the brick?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. See? It's the bravest. Another thing is who's the bravest is the guy who comes and looks and looks and looks and like, what is it? But he has to touch it. And it falls. Is he here? That guy from yesterday? No, really, I love you. You're brave. That's my favorite moment. When I'm doing this, my favorite thing is if I'm like over there after I've been doing it. You okay? You need some water or anything? Okay. Just a little wine. I think there's a couple of. He's not here? I don't love him anymore then. Anyway, but I love that exploration that I have to know how this is. It looks impossible. Okay, I guess that's not good. And then you want to know how to do it. So you heard me talk about the 3 points like that. And then why did you think you couldn't do it? Speaking to my cheek.
I don't think I'd have the patience to wait for it.
Do we have enough patience to wait for her to get it done? Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, we're still good. I have dinner at 8 in Montmartre, so we're fine. So, another important thing, and you can use the metaphor if you want to go deeper and deeper about this. Ooh, that's a good voice. Bricks by ESSEC. Build your life, one brick at a time, at ESSEC. Okay, so here we have a brick. Important thing in balancing, to make an amazing thing that looks impossible, you have to have flaws. You have to have a flaw here. There's a flaw here. Oh, there's a flaw down there. There's a flaw here. It's not like crystal glass or anything. So you can see the spots where these were. And there's a couple ways we can do this. You want to put your hands on my hands, or do you just want to freaking do it yourself?
No, I just want to do it.
We want to just do it. Okay. So we went from her not being able to do it to just get out of my way, lady, and let me balance the frickin' brick. Okay. Fine. Hi. Oh. Okay. Oh, you know what we discovered? That if I speak with a French accent, it's easier to people who speak French to understand me. Is that true? Somebody said, no. Are you French? But somebody said it's easier to understand if I speak this way. Is true? I don't listen to you because you I love you too. Okay, here's your brick. You can put it there, you can put it there. I would use, you can pick any corner you want. Do you want me to set it? Okay, so let's start with that. Now you have an extra challenge because this isn't completely stable. Nor am I, if you might have noticed. Is that funny? The American, she's not stable. But her rocks. Okay, there you go. I didn't cheat, she's just got the 1 point. Take it. Take it. Okay. Are you balanced yourself? You want to get balanced yourself before you try to balance something else?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to breathe? Are you breathing? Not so much. Okay. So breathe. You don't have to prove that you're breathing. Is this a suggestion? Okay. And then move that around. Now hold it loosely and let it tell you where its center of gravity is. Do you feel that you have 2 points or not? Not yet? Oh, sorry. Do you want me to help?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Can I have your gum? Okay, no more. I'm sorry. No, that's all right. I don't need any gum. It would sound really bad in this little microphone that's pressing against my cheek. Okay, there you go. Put your other hand on. So we got 1 point. Oh, feel that? Right there. That's 2. So if we have those at one time, loosen your grip a little bit. Got 2? You all right? Breathe. Breathe. Relax. Relax. Come on, relax. Okay. Now. Okay. I'm going to give it to you. My favorite. The one who was certain that she couldn't do it. And the reason it fell is because when we both stepped off of this, it moved a little bit. So you did it. You did it. Thank you. Another thing I forgot to mention is Pontus here? There he is. Okay. Don't get nervous. Don't get nervous. Really. Okay. Is H11 here? The guy whose poster is number H11? Dude, you're supposed to be here, man. Okay, write that down. He's absent. Anyway, find the guy, Pontus, find the guy who's H11. You were asking me about meditation. He's a meditator. Find him, we'll teach you how to meditate, okay? Just leave me out of it, all right? No, I'd be happy to teach anybody how to meditate, but I'm going to be far, far away. Okay. Oh, I'm using up the time. I'm using it up. How much do I have left? I have a spider of time left, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, questions. I think I'm ready for some questions. Nobody has any questions. The ESSEC class of rock balancers. Yes? How did I start? How did I start doing it? To my head. The idea was because I saw pictures, and I forgot a very important point. That's maybe the biggest lesson of the whole thing. Oops. When I saw the pictures, I was shown the pictures by a friend of mine. I'm sorry for the cameraman, I'm just moving all over the place. You good? Oh, I didn't mean to, well, everybody else was just like, right here, and I just can't do it. I can't. So this person showed me the photographs, and it was someone who was a little bit frustrated with my abilities to learn how to do things pretty easily and pick things up, and I can do that. Oh yeah, I can do that. I can, and she saw these pictures of rocks balanced by a guy named Bill Dan in San Francisco. He's my guy. Showed it, and she said, "This you will not be able to do." So, you know how that goes, right? Yeah, I'm going to business. You don't want to do that. Yeah, what are the chances you're going to make it? So, if somebody tells you you can't do something, you don't have to do it, but you could try it anyway. So how did it come? That was the idea. It was sort of a challenge. It was sort of because I was at my sister's cabin and I was bored. And I remembered, oh, that rock thing. And I Googled it, and I watched the videos, and went out and did it, and immediately became addicted to it. So that's another, I didn't think I was going to share this, but I am going to share this. About doing one thing at a time and focusing on what you're doing right now. Right now I'm talking to, oh my God, 400 people. But right now I'm standing, too. The first time I was able to use that tool, focusing on one thing at a time, was 21 years ago when I stopped doing drugs and alcohol one day in May. And I haven't done any since then, so that's all 21 years that it's been. But when I was first, we call it getting sober. So when I first getting sober, I was living in New York, and the theme in the group I was part of, that I can't tell you what it's called, is one day at a time. So you think I'm not going to drink today. You don't think I'm never going to drink again, because then you would probably just jump out the window. But I thought, maybe I can break it down even more. Maybe I could break it down to 1 minute at a time and one whatever. And that's the first time that I really got the idea of, what am I doing right now? Well, I'm washing a dish. Just wash the dish. You can't be doing anything else. That's the only thing you can do. I'm walking to class. You can't write your paper. You can't call home. You can't find more money. You can't do anything. Eat. Well, you can't eat and walk. My guru says only beasts eat and walk. So I'm a beast. But to do one thing at a time, for me, saved my life, really. So not to be dramatic, but if you try focusing on the thing you're doing and nothing else, it's really, really helpful. And if you can learn that now, instead of when you were a little older, you'll be way ahead. Anyway, question. I remember you were outside. Yeah, I know, we got pictures. Will you send it to me? Okay. Well, I've thought about, balancing other things, balancing chairs and stuff, but that's kind of getting into Cirque du Soleil kind of a thing. No, they don't do that with chair. Well, sort of, but I did branch out into man-made things, but the things that I use are all made of the earth, made of stone. That started mainly when I met the curator for Palais de Tokyo. She had me come to MoMA PS1 to do some work, and they couldn't find a lot of I couldn't find a lot of natural stones. I was at the quarry saying, "Can I have that one and that one?" And the guy's there with the forklift going, "What are you doing, lady? Give me, how do you want a truckload of rocks?" I'll move that one and that one and that one. Anyway, so I got out of there, and there was a dump where they take all of the man-made things that are of the earth, and they were like piled as big as this, like literally. And I was in heaven. I said, get that, get that, get that, get that, get that. That's when I really started using I had done it before, but I really started to love using man-made things that were broken. Man-made things that were broken and then I get the meaning of what I'm doing from the people who see it and tell me what it meant to them. And it's like making something out of rubble, all these different things. And anyway, another question, how much time do I have? Some time. They'll tell me. I have time. Question? Une question? Oui. I'm pretty much winging it. I start by making a base, and I think about how tall I can go based on the space, and then I just make a solid base. I can go, the higher I can go, the more solid the base, the higher I can go. Ooh, you may quote me. It's, the bottom ones are pretty steady. Sometimes I start doing 3 on the top that are tricky, but that takes forever because I'm balancing 2 of them at one time. So I have, like with the brick, I've done that before. You've seen that before. I haven't done it, right here with that brick, blah, blah, blah. But I knew, because I'd done it before, what it was going to look like. But if I'm starting with new materials, I just see what happens. And I look for shapes that are going to look the coolest, the most impossible. Because I do have ego. I'm working on it, but I like it when people go, oh my God, how do you do that? But then when I teach them how to do it themselves, that's the best. Another? Yes? I didn't choose these. They were found for me. I tell people if I'm traveling, I tell the venue about what I need. What are we seeing now? Oh, that's Palais de Tokyo. That's a good one. I tell people about what I need, and I send photos of the size of the stones, and then being able to just get some cinder blocks, some and I can use those. But usually, when I'm out in nature, I see rocks and I get really happy, and just use what's there. I use what's there. Oui. Oh, doing it out. It does make a difference. There's doing it out in nature versus doing it somewhere like this in front of a lot of people. It changes the experience for me because it makes that singular focus and the paying attention to my breathing and not paying attention to what's going on. It makes it a little harder to do. I'm getting better at it, but it makes it a little bit harder to do. So that's like the downside of it, but it's not really a downside. But the plus side is that I get to share it. I've realized that when I do it out in nature, I'm really in my own world, and I have all the time in the world. There's wind, so that affects it a lot. But it's kind of a different thing when I'm out in nature doing it, and then I photograph to document, and doing it in front of people where I can teach it or share it or affect people in a way that has been surprising to me. I've been very surprised and very grateful to the feedback that I get where people come and say, I was watching you balance stones and I became still and focused. And it's like, that's my favorite, that's my ultimate favorite part of it, really, is that if I can create that feeling in somebody for a second, then that I have purpose, you know, and that's the best. Did I answer your question? I think I did. Yes?
The last question.
Last question. Oh, wow. Really? Already?
So sorry.
No, don't be sorry. I'm just saying, how am I going to fill a whole 45 minutes? You want to arm wrestle? Sometimes did you see this series where they were out in the thing and then they fell because the tide came in? But the first one, I'm not forgetting. The first one was the rock was like completely out of the water. I was like, and then I went do some more, and then I was like, oh, tide's coming in. So that was fun. What was the question? Strong. Sometimes I cheat with the camera for the photographs. I mean, I'm not cheating, but when I photograph it close up, so it looks like they're bigger than they are. And other times I don't cheat, and I pick things up that are too heavy, and I hurt my back really, really bad. And that's why when I get to a venue, I go, I can't pick those up. You're going to have to move those for me. And they're like, woo. But anyway, I'm very careful about how I move them. Like if I'm out in nature, I'll put it onto my leg, and then I'll put it onto something, and then kind of roll it up. But they're not, I'm learning to not pick up things that are really too heavy. And the photos sometimes make them bigger than they are. It's all about perspective. You may quote me. So just in closing, again, I'm very, very grateful that you created this. And I hope you have a chance to thank Xavier, because he's really smart. And that he created this week-long program for you guys. He's thinking about you. He's thinking about how he can help you succeed. And please share this with people. Please try it. Please try to focus on one thing at a time. And please go change the world, transform it. It needs help. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.